Materia. Happy Friday and welcome to Guild Chat. Thank you all for joining us. I'm your host, Ruby, and we're going to be giving you a tour of the Jade Sea.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the LightBringers watching Guild Chat Jade Sea revealness. We got boots, we got Criff, we got better chests. They're actually here.
A couple things before we dive in. First of all,
Almost.
as always,
We're
we're
almost
taking
there.
you behind the scenes
Okay.
into a development environment. So
We're
you're gonna
here.
see things that look unfinished.
Gosh, I regret
maybe
everything
kind
I've
of
done.
weird, like
No shade.
Maybe some temporary
all the
icons,
shade.
that kind of stuff. Also, especially for
Why
this
did I
show,
have this
we
little
did say
weird
in the Xinjie map tour,
black
the Echovold
thing
Wilds map
on the
tour,
right-hand side?
we let you know
Oh,
that
Or is that
we're
me?
hiding a
Captions.
lot of things.
Oh,
I have
okay.
that too. You can turn it off.
Kind of
Oh,
avoid
okay.
spoilers and leave plenty for you all to
Oh.
discover during
Oh, yeah, I
the-
see.
That's awesome.
during your
I
gameplay
guess.
after End of Dragons goes live.
Let me see.
We've
They're hiding things
done
again.
this
Oh.
except we hid everything. This is
How
an
do you
extremely
turn
Well, they
that
hid
off?
everything.
map. There is so much story stuff that we don't want to spoil for you. That we talked about this over and over, trying to figure out what to do. We ended up.
Yeah, I imagine this
what?
would be spoilers.
So at
They
least
hid
be riding a
everything.
turtle.
They're all gone. Still
I
lots
know,
to
I
show
want them
you,
on the turtle
but
so bad.
just a heads up, it's a little bit deserted right now. So that said, mass evacuation. We evacuated everybody. So that said, let's jump in and meet our dev guests. Connor, we'll start with you. Hi.
All right, hello. My name is
Okay,
Connor
at least they
Fallon.
say
I'm
it,
the story
like,
design lead
off-
on End of
off the
Dragons.
jump.
That
He's a nice
means I
guy.
work very
We
closely
raided with
the
him.
team and with
It was
the
one
other
of the people we
designers
raided
in
with.
order to determine what
Very
our
extra love.
storyline is and make sure that everything that we're doing is cohesive, which is especially relevant to this map.
And
Yes,
Kirk.
it is. Hey folks, I'm Kirk Williford. I'm a senior game designer at ArenaNet, and I am a content team lead on End of Dragons, including Jade Sea here.
All right. So where are we going to start?
Sure. We are starting at the Frozen Sea Monastery, located in the Jade Sea. So first thing you'll note is, again, I
want
want to
those
make it sure
shirts.
we call it out. Everything has been unspawned in
it's
this
so
map.
pretty.
You know, some props have even been unspawned. All of the
good
NPCs
shot.
have. A big thing about this map, and I'll let Connor go into detail about this, is this map ties very closely with the story of End of Dragons, particularly later in the story. So.
Yeah. So historically, when we've done expansions, all of the maps have taken place ballpark the same time. When we were breaking out and figuring out what we were doing in End of Dragons, it became clear that there were a lot of advantages to having one map that took place later, so that we could show some of the effects of some of the things that were happening in the story and really like tie it in. a
Ooh,
cohesive
that's a
way.
good idea.
Jade Sea is the map. So actually, in the game, if you try to go to this map early, there will be a little conversation that says, "Are
Interesting.
you sure you want to go here?" There'd be spoilers, and
There
you
be
can
spoilers.
you can say yes. We're not stopping you from going in early and spoiling yourself, but
That's good.
it's this interesting thing where we've kind of taken an advantage that we had in Living World with having maps be a very specific slice of time and applied just a little bit of it to this expansion. So yeah, but the result of this is when we're putting together how to promote it, how to talk about it, it's hard.
Very
Even
much
when we were putting together the trailer, there's a lot of really cool stuff that we just can't show or don't like. We could show, I guess, but like then you'd go in and you'd know everything. You'd know a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so yeah, and
They're so nerdy, I love it. Just like-
because of that
Massive
way, it
nerds.
connects to the larger story and all those other things.
Yeah, it's been a blast, being able to work with the narrative team so closely, and Connor and his team on this map and developing the themes that you see in the content and the experience on this map and how it all ties together, not just with what's happening in this map, but what's happening in the entire story at this point. And yeah, even when we were trying to figure out how to do this guild chat, it's the first thing is like, okay, how are we going to do this?
We had so many meetings about
How these
We
two
want to show this map. There's
like,
a ton of
realize
awesome
these
things to
story
see
elements in
Jade
this
Sea,
map.
but there's also
It makes me so curious. I just want to like know more.
See what I did there?
Yeah, I do.
But at the same time, we don't want to spoil that for folks. We don't want to spoil a lot of things for people. So we are, that's why we do unhide everything, or we do hide everything.
Oh,
I'm not
no.
unhiding anything.
We'll be right back.
But yeah.
So let's see what we can see.
Sure,
in this
yeah.
sea.
So this is another area in the map that is a bit more quiet. It's in the rocks a little bit. By a little bit, I mean quite a bit. But it showcases some of the more solemn areas of the map.
I'd say it's embedded in the rocks.
It is quite embedded in the rocks, but it still has its own grand view. It's a gorgeous area. Some awesome content takes place
Petra
here, you know,
situation.
with learning more about this particular monastery and what, you know, the folks here do. But, you know, there's a lot of contrast in what you can find in this map, because obviously, you know,
the colors, the ambiance,
Jade in its place in Cantha,
all that tile work.
Yeah, the tile's awesome.
It's very important. You know, it powers the entire Canthan Empire. So there's that level and that element of the map where it is a, you know, a big quarry and that has to get the, you know, materials to do what it needs to do. I'm trying so hard not to spoil things right now.
You're doing really well.
I'm trying.
Shout out to Kirk for this.
But you know, at the same time, there's also these areas where it's like, it's a little quieter. It might be a break
the
from that
stuff and things.
big industry side.
It's
you
still
know.
a big historic region that has a lot of culture and history attached to it. And people go there not only for modern reasons, they go there to like connect to that.
Characters.
Yeah, you know, this area is different than what it was in Guild Wars 1 in the sense that, you know,
people
this
and
isn't the
culture
land
and
of the Luxons as much.
events.
You know, people who are still here are Luxons.
Let's look at this
temple. You still recognize some
Then
of
there's
them.
this
They
temple.
still,
I don't know
you
if I should call it a temple.
Celebrate their history, similar to what you'll find in Echovold with the Kurziks, you know, but it's kind of, you know, it has another element to it. And so, you know, we'll start taking a look at it. I'm going to head a little bit to the east here. I'm going to carefully position my camera. So this is the thing. The spoilers are so up front in this map that I literally cannot move my camera at certain angles for fear of showing things.
So
but,
awesome.
You know, so we're going to take a little detour through this conveniently placed hallway here and just kind of take in some of the more solemn aspects of the map and some of the cool things that you'll be able to discover. You know, including some of the awesome.
I just love
artwork.
The lighting is always such a strong suit in Guild Wars 2, but the lighting here in particular just feels so
before, but
like it's just setting the scene of all of this area just so perfectly.
Yeah, it feels like there's going to be some kind of story instance here, where it's like a solemn experience.
And I think they really help in all of our maps lend this sense of like a style to this area.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I do love this mosaic so much.
Yeah, that's something I've been noticing through the whole map is the attention to detail.
Wow, that's it. That's what we missed last time.
Can you, if
that
you
one.
can go like,
that's what
back
we missed.
down, and just even the stone surrounding it has absolutely gorgeous patterns. The map artists have done such good work on this.
Yeah, every time we go into this map, it blows us away. You know, the work that Jeff, our map artist, has done on it is amazing, and it's just, I love it so much. You know, something that I mentioned last week during the Echovold live stream was Echovold and Xingje have two completely different biomes, right? And then as we go through here, you know, Jade Sea as a third different biome. These maps look completely different. You know, there's a lot of different aspects to them, you know, and not just in content, but also in art direction. You know, obviously we're starting to see some of the Jade Sea part of the Jade Sea now. Imagine that, right?
Starting to see green.
But
oh my god, it's a green
we're
color.
gonna head down to this little village here.
I love that you can see
Yeah, I have some things
so
I
you
want to
see
talk
green?
about with,
I don't
with
see any
these-
green.
This scene here.
You sure it's not red?
But you know, this area here is called Emerald Bluff. Excuse me.
Maybe I gotta get my eyes.
And what it is, you know, as you can see over here, there's a little bit of a dock. This area might be pretty old. You know, they built this maybe when the Jade Sea wasn't solid jade.
This is just
So
like this is
a little bit of an
stunning.
older area.
I
It has some older
really,
folks in it who may not
all
be
of this just is
interested
so
in moving
gorgeous.
To the hustle and bustle of
This feels good,
Kaineng
yeah.
or, you know, Xingje or even
What I
Echovold,
find
you know,
wild
they're all
is that they make a very good point there.
and so you'll find some,
That area
some
is
cool
very
stories
old
here of
because
the people
it's
who stuck
a
around
dock
here and why they're still
inside the Jade, frozen Jade Sea.
what's
So
happening
that
at this
dock
point.
is over 250 years old.
But at the same
Gosh,
time,
you're
there is some
right.
interest from folks.
It's in good
who are
repair,
already
actually.
Here and trying to
Held
figure
up.
out what's going on. What's with this jade that now powers the entire Canthan Empire? You know, in so doing, there's an event here that I really like that one of our content designers, Annie, did. That, you know, is about similar to in real life how there's, you know, ice core studies that happen in Antarctica, for example. You're able to assist some researchers with gathering jade cores and able to, you know, figure out what's inside the jade, what can they get from it, what are they learning from it, you know.
Yeah.
And then there's also some other stuff that you kind of run across too.
Let's quickly take a look at the table for this that this researcher has.
Why is the wood still
well,
there?
Specifically, I want to talk about what's on the table. So I've had a couple people. I noticed when I was watching the chat, because I can't help myself, for all these different things. I just noticed when we run by these, a couple people have been like, "What's that thing? What are these?"
Guild
They keep
Wars
showing
2
up.
and their tables.
We're going to talk about it.
Yay.
So these are actually, throughout Cantha and End of Dragons, we have news that will play like from these projectors when you get near them. And the thing about this is that news actually updates based on how far you are in the story, what's happened in the world, and all these things like that. So there's a sense of like, one of the things that I'm really proud of with End of Dragons is you know, over the years we've experimented with a lot of different ways
what a great
to
detail.
merge our instance
There was.
content and the
Have you
open
guys
world
ever
to make
ran
it feel
into
like
an
they're connected.
NPC
And by having these reporters talking
near
about
the Diesa Plateau racing beetle race
exploring,
that says she interviews you for a Hollow News?
we're proud for how it shows up.
It just happened to me
Does mean
yesterday.
That we now
There you
have
go.
things that are pretty visible in every map, and we turn them off in the live stream because we can't have them talking
Creep
about
looks like
something
a
that happens
moomin.
in Act 5 when we're showing off like, here's the first map you go to. So, but yeah.
Yeah, actually, something that I like about these that you'll see as you're running around the game after it's live is the different sizes. And I've joked that
Could be
it's
a
like
long story.
desktop, laptop, tablet, and phone, because there's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
4 different sizes of these.
So this one on the table is one of the smaller sizes. You get the fun-sized reporter that shows up and talks to you, just
Okay, I
standing
love
on
that.
your table. Yeah. Then you know, there's obviously like
Like a
person-sized.
Alexa.
And there's a big one for like neighborhoods, but then there's one place in the expansion.
one of
There's this giant one of these, which is always really fun when you trigger it and you see her like the thing like talking to you, and you're like, oh, there's the
that's
news.
enormous.
That's the thing. But yeah.
It's one of my favorite additions to the
Probably
open
new
world, just
kinda.
because it really helps kind of ground everything in the reality of what's happening, right? Like, not the things that you're doing impact the world and people are reacting to it. You know, you might do something in the story,
Yeah.
and then you hear news about it. You're like, that was made. Oops.
Okay.
But also it's a great
Where
tool
did those
for
fish
role-playing,
come from?
Right? Like
I was
just
wondering the
we
exact
have a bunch
same
of ambient
thing.
reports that we wrote that are just about like random
I mean,
things.
maybe there are
and, like, don't be-
parts
there's one-
where there is water,
There's one that's
or like
you
there's
don't
a
feed
way,
the cat.
like if they're talking
please,
about
they're
ice and stuff
dangerous.
as well, there may be the idea that like
Like, then that's
the
just kind of a
surface is
fun-
frozen, but that there may be drills like that go
Ice
down and
fishing,
there's
yeah.
water underneath, or
That'd be
Or
ice
maybe,
fishes,
have you guys
probably.
ever seen on Reddit someone put a hot dog in epoxy,
We're actually gonna skip
and it's now been like 6 months and it's still like perfectly preserved?
that's actually a really interesting idea. That maybe they like mine
They
out.
mine out fish.
amazing work again.
I mean, maybe.
Has done.
I mean, wave fishing is a brand new thing with End of Dragons. It would, if it wasn't going to be in every map, I would be surprised somehow.
You know, kind of blending in at the top, and you can.
I reckon you can get a
real
little.
sense of
You can have a
motion,
little sheds.
that happens inside of this map.
Wow.
You
Cool.
know, it's beautiful on its
I
own.
love the
but
different
something that's really
shades of
special about
green.
this map.
I'm glad that it's not just
particularly
like
fond
in the
of is,
trailer, we
you know,
just
you
kinda
might
saw that
see
very
that
flat
it
green
looks like
color.
It goes very far. So
reminds
something
me
that
of
is
Path of
kind
Fire.
of different and new to the game for
me of
End
Guild Wars
Dragons
1.
is the concept of an open border.
Do you remember when we were talking about the different kinds of maps
Technically land.
being combined in this
So, you know,
expansion?
we
Path
do
of Thorns and
open
Path of
world
Fire.
maps,
Big,
Yeah.
wide, open map. This one.
regularly-ish.
It looks
You know,
like.
some of
There's
them
probably going to be
are
narrow
that way,
places, but
or,
It's like the
Rockmore
sand
Valley has a
dunes in the
little bit of
Crystal
it,
I feel like I
one
saw
way,
Exactly.
that particular
but
rock
it's always done
in Guild Wars 1.
water. You know, it's always a water plane that just goes off. the distance,
maybe,
you know.
maybe Boots,
And we've
maybe.
never done that
Maybe
before
you
for a
did.
land-based
Yeah, maybe.
map. Technically speaking, I suppose this is water, but you know,
It's debatable for all
debatable,
intents and
you know.
purposes.
Jade
But when
now.
we were building out this
Dude,
map,
it's okay.
it was important that we want, you know, the Jade Sea is very large, and we wanted to accurately convey that in what you
Hello,
see, what
stream.
you experience in the map, and have it feel like a Jade Sea, not a Jade bathtub, if you will. And
Not
have,
a
you know,
Jade
kind of
bathtub,
you're encapsulated
what?
in a small space, and you can't see how big this thing really is. You know? And so we were talking with Jeff about that. And how can we make this work? How can we have a land-based one where it goes off into infinity, really? And he's like, I have an idea. Let me see if I can do it. And shortly after, he checks it in and is like, you know, let me know what you think. And we took a look. We're like, holy crap. Like, this looks amazing. And what he did is, you know, beyond the borders of what is actually recognized as the map on the technical side, you know, he hand sculpted more of these waves as props and have them placed, you know, to help convey off in the distance how big this map and how big the Jade Sea really is. And that includes, you know, you'll see the rocks and all that stuff in the distance. And that was really important to us because, you know, if you played Guild Wars 1 Jade Sea, it has that feeling to it. It was a little easier in Guild Wars 1 because you couldn't jump. There wasn't as much, you know, vertical
Right.
elements
Yeah.
to movement in the game. But, you know, so that produced its own kind of challenges for Guild Wars 2. But in doing so, Jeff did an awesome job of,
Jeff's
really
amazing,
conveying
everyone.
it in an awesome way. It looks like it goes on forever. It's a huge ocean, not ocean, sea.
It also is just
Big
so
body of
incredible to
water.
me. They're talking
Jade
about
Lake.
map
Yeah.
design and
So,
stuff, and this even hit me with the Echo Vault. And they're just like, yeah, Jeff, who did all of this, or such and such. The fact that like this team again. You always imagine kind of like a faceless horde that makes the games that you love.
Jesus.
But the fact that Guild Wars 2 just has this like tight-knit team, and that there really are individuals who are responsible for unique things as opposed to like 20, 30, 50 people, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's an artisanal map design.
Spoilery message?
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Right?
when we first were like, okay, we committed to doing this open border. I talked to Eric and I was like, hey, can we change that text? And he's like, I'll look into it. And again, same thing. Really quickly we're able to. Everyone really hopped onto this idea, and it was just awesome to see everyone come together, and it looks so cool. Let's climb.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Climb.
Cool. Yeah. I love
Maybe
all
they'll
the little
actually
details
expand
and
the
like the
map in the
texture
future.
work and stuff. You can kind of
Sorry,
really
Chris?
see the motion, and it's
Well, because they're talking about how it's going to be like an open border and a strong current pushes you
It's a
back
word now, it's
instead of having
Yeah.
like a wall
Yeah, I was
that
thinking about
Yeah.
encases the map.
Yeah.
So we might see something where they expand
Probably,
it in
but
the
this
next
would be
season.
a really big map.
I mean,
though.
maybe.
They've
What
never
would
done
you
that with
do?
expansion maps
So we're
before.
gonna climb up here, get another.
Expected Jade back to
It's because of the instanced, right? Because fitting so much in some one area is a pain. And also like metas and also mega servers.
True. But we saw them do it with Ice Cream Saga, so maybe they're kind
They
of
could
actually
do.
was
that.
in
Yeah.
the Siege Turtle video that came out yesterday,
Which you should check out if you haven't.
which you should check out. It's amazing.
Please show us
with,
the Siege Turtle, otherwise I'm gonna cry.
I'm
gonna cry after.
This area I really like because there's some fun content
What?
centered around.
Yeah, there's a Jade.
what
There's
is
a Siege Turtle live stream
this
next week on
at the same
Wednesday.
time,
It's next
This
week.
might be a place where you learn about a specific mini dungeon that might be in the Jade Sea.
Yeah, I mean, I as someone who enjoys like explorative content, right? The one in Path of Fire,
Mini
the Dwarven
dungeon.
Ruins, was one of my favorite places to stumble upon. So I was really excited to hear that you guys are doing more of that stuff this time around.
Yeah, we love that kind of stuff too when we're building out these maps.
Sounds like ESO
explorability
stuff.
yeah, I'm sure that's a word. I'm making it a word too.
Explorable.
Also a word.
Explorable. Connor is my technical dictionary here. You are in the narrative.
Exploraborous.
Anyway,
Right, some words.
Bora
but not
Bora,
as
yeah.
many.
Never
anyway,
ending
it's a word.
circle.
That's a big.
Whatever.
It's really important to us when we're building out these maps. It's not just the content that's in your face, so to speak, with fighting and what have you, but we want to have stuff.
Oh, yeah,
you
hold on,
can
there we go
explore
now.
as you're building, building your journey through these maps. And in doing so, we approached the design of mini dungeons for these, and this is one of a couple you might find in End of Dragons that might have something to do with this space. What more? I'm not going to say, but as you journey through the Jade Sea and explore it on your own, you'll
Procedurally
find that
generated
it's an awesome,
content is
thing to
exploraborous.
explore that one of our designers, Floyd, did, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Connor ran through it and he enjoyed it too. He likes this area in particular, which I definitely agree. Before I go to there, I'm going to show a clip of one of my favorite little vistas here.
All right.
And by clip, I mean I'm going to time it with that convenently placed rock on the side there. And yeah, I love the view.
Is there a drill
this
there or
map has
something?
Gorgeous.
being as open as it is. It allows us to have a lot of big open vistas. That just really play well, and not really anything like we've done before.
Yeah, and one of the things as we were figuring out like side stories and core stories and things like that, one of the big things we do is hey, where's a good spot for some of these scenes that we need to play that have a specific tone, or we want to have the certain
Walk
feel.
to those
And
mountains in the
there's a-
distance,
there's a
or no?
particular
Is it the edge of the map?
which I'm looking forward to people experiencing.
I feel like you
that
could
we
walk
decided to set
them.
here, looking
Yeah.
out at
We don't know
this
exactly how
expanse.
far out this extends or like where this
Because
is
it
on the
made
map,
sense, and
but
it fit very well tonally. That's all I'm gonna give you. But in general, I'm really proud of some of the variety of different things and places we take our characters and our world in this expansion.
Yeah, Connor. When Connor showed me what he had built here, I was really blown away. It's a really awesome moment, just in itself. But just it's a perfect place to have that moment. It's an awesome beat in the story, but you know, the attention to detail and the focus and handcrafted stuff that everyone has done, it's awesome to see every time we log into the map.
And you'll just have to imagine it because we're not showing
That's right.
any of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you know,
what we're doing is telling you places to
Yes.
look for
Yes.
cool things.
Yes.
And
All right, good stream. Good stream, everybody. Everybody go home now.
That's in question. There's definitely a mini dungeon.
Spoilers.
We're telling you where to go look.
Yeah.
It's the only
Also
spoiler I can
mentioned
give, man.
the
Give me
aura
something.
on the
Okay,
character.
you can have that one. I really like that too, just because, you know, in
And,
context of
like,
like
if
the
this might
meta
be a new
event that is in this
untamed
map,
aura.
you know, there might be a meta event in this map.
There's a meta event in this
There is
map. You just
definitely a
said.
meta event.
You know, in context of the meta event that is in this map, there's also time for more of those quieter character beats and quieter, you know, more solo stuff that you can do, like a mini dungeon or what have you. Some of the stuff that we'll take a look at in a bit here.
Striking that balance is something that we've been iterating on for every expansion, right? And I think, and one of the things is the maps have different maps hit that balance a little bit differently in this expansion. That was one of the things I think that I love that gives the maps a different feel in this time around. And I think you guys did a great. I think we did a good job of it here.
Awesome. I'm glad. Yeah, I hope everyone likes it when they're able to check it out.
Yeah, I believe this is the point where I vanish. Correct.
Well,
Yeah, we
I'm
just
interested to see
take
if
you out of the
actually
game
finish. I
and
do
everything.
Want to say thank you for giving yourself credit too, as well, for catching that.
Yeah.
You all have done such amazing work. I'm so excited for you all to
Yes.
see this.
So I'm going to be disappearing, and we're going to be bringing
yeah.
Chloe on.
We're gonna take a really quick break. Stick around, and we're gonna keep running around the Jade Sea. We'll
Ooh,
be
do we
right
get
back.
some concept art? Oh, this might actually be in the Jade Sea. We got this concept art a while ago.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the LightBringers podcast. This is episode. Well, this isn't the episode. This is the co-stream. But this is alongside episode. Music, please. 30.
Doing great.
30th episode. Ba, ba, ba. Exciting. I was
Oh,
hoping it was
wait.
going to be total. What?
I don't know. That looks cool.
Yeah, I
It
can't
all
stop
looks
it.
so cool. There was, and there were waterways and things between the Jade there, so, and here in this one.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Wow.
It looks good.
Wow. Yeah, I honestly, I have to say, I already feel like this live stream.
Wait, that's.
Go. What is that dragon?
That.
Well, that,
I
isn't
think that
that
just
the.
might be.
Oh, you're right, the big
Yeah,
dragon
there's a lot of
crawling around
dragons.
it.
There's a
but
lot of dragons.
I already
It
feel
looks
like this
kinda.
live stream. Oh, you think so?
Yeah,
I don't think it's
Kaineng.
Yeah,
no, I don't think
yeah,
it's Kaineng. I don't think they
Kaineng.
chose. They would not show us concept art for Kaineng this week.
Bird of chess, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was going
We
to
had
say
this
that
discussion.
I already feel like this particular live stream it feels stronger to me as a presentation than the last one we got with Echovald, right? Like, I really enjoy the stuff they were talking about, even if they had to be kind of vague about story stuff, but to talk specifically about like what they were trying to do with the vistas and the depth and the, you know, the handcrafted waves and all the little details that we got to see, even in the architecture and the stonework, that little village, the layers and colors and ripples of the like jade where you could see the influence of the water before it was frozen. I mean, like, we didn't see a massive amount, but I think that what we got to see and how they talked about what they designed in it, like, I'm already more hyped. Like, this feels like exciting to me, you know?
Yeah, it looks good, and it's. I think this art is giving me some excitable feels right now as well. You saw those? What was those kind of levitating or those gravity? Of what I don't know. Those mini like kind of things that you're pushing around with the jade being transported around and. Like the technological side of this expansion. Like whereas I was thinking like. When they announced it, End of Dragon's going to Camphor, like my idea wasn't technology immediately. Whereas I'm like, my engineer senses are tingling with this expansion. I'm like, all the tech and the turtle and stuff. Oh,
Welcome back.
I'm
I
excited.
hope you're ready to continue your tour of the Jade
No,
Sea with us,
stop,
because
pause.
we have more
Just
to
a
share.
turtle. Sorry.
Chloe is with us now, so thank you for joining.
Hi, I'm Chloe Mills. I'm a content designer working on End of Dragons. I've been working on Echofall Wilds and Jade Sea.
The green
and in Jade Sea,
eyeshadow!
Yeah, it's good.
Amazing!
Say.
one
That
of the
is
things I've been
definitely a
working on is
call-out.
part of the meta.
Love it.
Spoilers!
This is a very spoiler town conclusion to the meta.
It's so hard not to spoil
It really
stuff.
It's super secret, but I'm very excited for people to get like their hands on it when
wrong
it
green. No,
goes
don't.
live.
No.
I
Don't start.
cannot wait. It's gonna be
it's going to be so good.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
It's like what Connor was saying about the story and the
This
meta,
screenshot right
coming
now
together, the story
looks
team,
like
the
Guild Wars
content
1.
teams, you know?
Yeah.
It does. It feels a lot like that.
It's been.
It
it's been
actually
really
looks
interesting.
exactly like Guild Wars 1 as well. Yeah, like you say.
Yeah.
Like it would just like when you say look, that it just like yes.
Towards the end, there's.
The
It
art.
looks like you can't go
I don't know
explore
how to
them.
phrase things, but it's all secret.
I think you can.
There is stuff that we
But you can,
share
yeah.
and talk about. So
Yeah.
let's keep
They
going.
can't. No, they are.
What are we looking at?
Well, here.
Griff, they're going.
Is,
How do you feel?
C2C
They're going, Griff.
Siege Turtle hatchery. This
I
is
feel
a Juno
hype.
hatchery.
They're going.
It is a different hatchery than the one that was in Guild Wars 1. Giala hatchery. But it's kind of got like similar vibes, even though it's evolved over time. There's updated architecture, and it has a little bit different of a look, obviously. But it still has a lot of Luxon influence. Like siege turtles are a very like integral part
I'm
of,
so
like,
excited for
Luxon
baby
culture
turtles.
and history.
It
And
looks so peaceful.
So you definitely still get a lot of those vibes, even though stuff
you show
has,
us them,
like,
please?
updated and integrated with the
They
Anthem,
despawned all the
like,
NPCs,
cultural.
Jebro.
No.
So
I mean, yeah.
I have an event here that I made, and
There better be
in
like
it,
an event
you
here where it's
are,
just love the baby turtles, just
protecting
love them.
Of course
some,
there is,
To
of
feed them
course.
stuff,
tiny
love
It
them.
is. It has to
turtle
be.
hatchlings that
If
have
it's
just
not-
hatched out of their nests in the
I wanted an
sand,
event
and you're
where
helping
people
them get
attack
to
the
these
turtles and we
little
must defend them with our
hatchling pools
lives.
Where they can start like
Yeah.
growing up
We
and
show up and we show
learning
out for
how
the
to be a
turtles.
siege turtle. There's a lot to learn.
I'm not sure what showing out means,
because,
but
like,
okay.
I wanted to make this event a little bit like have a little bit more of a layer than just
not sure I'm
like a
comfortable
regular
with that.
defend or escort event. So there's so like they're like little babies. They're naive. They don't know any better, and so like they're just beelining for those pools. And in the way there's a bunch of danger and things that they can run into.
bunch of
including Naga
danger.
and Kappa,
Oh, like
and
sea turtles.
other sorts of dangers. So so you as a player are trying to herd them and lure them away from out of the like path of danger and
Oh, there you
help
go.
them not get kidnapped.
go.
in the
Defend the
Naga.
babies.
So
They're showing
it's
out
very
for
cute.
them.
It's a little chaotic, but you kind of get a glimpse into like what it's like to work at the hatchery here, and it's a bunch of very cute.
We can
baby
role
turtles.
play as
Yeah, I really
hatches.
like it too. You know, obviously
there you go.
there's
So happy.
usually some siege turtles spawned in here amongst other things.
Yeah.
But
We hid those two.
we hit
Yeah.
everything. But like you'll see them all around. You're able to learn about them. You're able to experience some of what that Luxon knowledge is. Given
awesome.
their mastery with the siege turtle just as a thing.
Oh, there's a giant mountain in the back.
and this is an important place for.
Pretty sure that is.
Starting on the journey for getting your own.
Kinda
siege
dirty.
turtle.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
This
But
is
yeah,
where
so
we-
like
we-
this
we
big pool,
trying to
see
it's
each other,
like
we
would've
shallow
been good.
water
We-
because
they
it's,
could've done
so
that.
like the side pools
Could've
are
done it right
little
now.
tiny hatchlings, and in the
Oh,
middle
they have
is
a
for,
separate stream
like
scheduled
the
for
more,
it,
like,
Jeff.
But I'm not gonna be here.
Well,
Aw.
whose fault is that, Jebro?
Yeah, where are you going?
So
My
I would normally be
clients.
more populated.
I like the progression
That's
of the smaller
important.
pools and then the large
It's pretty
ones.
important.
And I played this event once or twice, and I know Chloe's gonna get like sick of me screaming at her about how much I love it. But it's not just like adorable turtles, and you have to help like the naive little babies that will just blunder into danger otherwise. But the different ways just that little bit of progression goes, and like we were joking that they're food motivated because
Yeah.
you can offer treats to lure them. Come over here.
like come
Big
here, like,
mood.
You can, yeah, we can give them their lunch, Kurt.
Excellent.
But yeah, it is just the care and
The water
thought
looks
went
good
into
on
it
that
is-
pool,
It's
randomly.
such a good example of
I don't know why I'm
so
doing
many
that.
events
It just
on
looks
this map.
good.
This is one of the few we can talk about. So
One of the few.
yeah.
Looks
it is-
accurate.
I'm excited for people
Yeah,
to
it looks like
experience this
actual
one, and
water in a
the
pool.
fact
I
that
don't know
it's
why
tied
that
to
looks
getting
good.
your
It
own
just
siege
does.
turtle
I just
mount
point that
makes it really awesome.
good water.
Real quickly, you might have noticed that sometimes I will focus on the nice ground, like, look at that rock.
green.
That's a nice rock.
That is a
Very nice
fantastic
rock.
rock.
I saw
But,
the green.
Just again,
Important.
we as we've said, we are unspawning. We unspawn the entire map. That includes creatures, some props. I can't turn my camera to face specific angles because sometimes it can get too spoilery. We don't. There's like a ton of exciting stuff in this map that we really just don't want
Ooh, there's a
for
quarry
folks.
down there.
We'd rather have
There is.
So they have noticed that some people didn't maybe think the last one was that interesting and exciting because they keep talking about it.
Yeah.
The terrain's so interesting.
Probably.
Oh,
It's
So-
okay.
Kind of
was it just not interesting or exciting because I wasn't there to witness it with you guys?
That was it, Boots. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why
We
they
just missed you
also
too
keep
much.
talking about it. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought so.
Oh, yeah. Remember when I said stuff might be broken?
Ooh, look at that.
Oh dear.
Gravity, maybe
Precarious
gravity is different than I
perching
understand
tower
it in
things.
Kanto,
Jade
but
Tech.
Yeah, that might be it. You know, or
like an old
Oh, they
Siege
removed
Shows
something there.
Yeah, I was so glad that like we were going to have a siege turtle hatchery. It was something that like when we first started talking about it, I was like, oh, I need to be a part of this. I really want to be involved with siege turtles. I love them in Guild Wars 1. I love the Luxons, and it's just I could not.
I like
wait.
Chloe.
I need to be a part of this.
Yeah, she seems sweet.
Yeah, I'm
Bringing
the work
good
that you've done on that
energy.
area is amazing. It's
Fun.
really awesome to check out.
It's good people.
We're going to head north a little bit into the actual quarry part of the Jade Sea, where you
This
see
looks
and
fun.
there's a lot to look at. in here,
Does.
so
The,
we'll
like,
get
wanna
to
zip
it,
line
but
on the
something that I
scale
really like
and
about this
depth
area
and all the
is,
layers.
it immediately shows you how much of the mining operation has already gone down, you know? Technically speaking, up there is sea level, right? So they've been digging for quite a long time because they need a lot of this stuff to power their empire, you know? And in some cases, they've dug all the way down to the sea floor. Obviously, you know, this is relatively shallow compared to
think
some
they've
parts
dug
of the
too
Jade
deep.
Sea, given how close it is to the mainland. But you know, you're able to stand in there and immediately look up and be like, okay, that's pretty deep.
You know, I hadn't
and
even
see some of
thought
those
about the
stories, you know,
possibility
they're still
of
actively trying to do stuff.
Bubbles being like frozen in jade and then being freed by an operation like this.
Throughout the,
But
you know, the
it's
expansion
kind of an
throughout Tampa.
interesting thought.
But
Bubbles the
in doing so,
Balrog.
you're able to see those stories of the workers here, what they're dealing with, you know, while also starting to re-enter a more familiar area.
I feel like we
for
might
Guild
have
Wars 1
talked
players,
about
you know,
that at
this
some
is
point in one of the streams.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You've covered a lot of ground.
PvE mission where it was Luxons versus Kurziks, you know, this is that area that has been expanded very, you know, drastically
banners.
as they've
Cool.
just continued that
Yeah.
operation over the centuries, as it were. You know, and that's brought the attention.
Did I just
of
point out
many
that
other groups,
Kroof?
including
Take
this
a little-
logo
take a
here
little
is
sip of
an
your cup.
interesting one. Lastly, we
You,
took a look at the headquarters
Kroof
in
is like
Echoval
the
of
comfiest
Jade
person
Brotherhood.
right now.
Yeah, Kroof is ultimate comfy energy right now.
Jade Sea, interested in what's going on here.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
Again, it's empty, so
I do appreciate that.
Okay.
Like,
they love
to
it.
comment
this
more
is
about
such
that.
a pretty area, and I joke.
They
but
delve too
the
deep.
Trees
Yeah,
and
that's right, really.
flowers and just all of the
Oh,
little
this looks
details.
really
And
I love
beautiful.
this
Oh,
little
it's
meadow
so
right here.
pretty.
It's so picturesque.
It's gorgeous.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
dense.
that's
I
the
love
thing that I
it.
really like about the Jade Sea too. I mean, all
It's
of our
so
maps,
different to the rest of the game.
this
It's
area
amazing.
is way
Yeah.
It's very
different than
good.
What we started with in the show, right?
The
It's
little
way
bridge.
different from
The little
what the rest of
bridge,
the
like the
sea looks
waterfall
like.
and
It's
the-
different from what the quarry looks like. You know, there's
It's
still
making
elements
me
of
think of
everything for everybody
Japan.
here in terms of variety of, you know.
I mean, that's a good
terrain
thing.
and
I miss
elevation,
Japan.
You know, so
Oh,
it's
you
up
miss
there,
it.
actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
You can
it's
go again.
it's really
Eventually.
interesting to have worked on both Echoval and Jade Sea
Yeah.
for that reason. Like it has
You can go in
provided
February
a lot of
to the
variety,
map and
just 'cause
visit
they
it.
have this very
And get more feels, I
Echoval
guess.
is very vertical and kind of more like closed in and spooky. Whereas like, I mean, I know that we're going like vertical right now, but like as a whole, Jade Sea is like much more open and there's like wide expanses, and so it really like I really like the variety there, but it's also like created some interesting design challenges to
Yeah,
solve
that's
of,
cool.
like, how do we
man.
And then
lay
there's the
out
verticality as well, which we were talking about, like combining. They've done it in one map.
thinking about how
That's
stuff
good.
interacts with just the
Okay.
environment itself, like having where
looks
do the
so good.
characters exist? Where
Yeah,
do
that
items,
is just, like, what a
live and all of
vista.
that. And so it's been really cool.
The
working with both of
colors and
them,
that like
'cause they
faint
just have
kind
such,
of
like,
hazy
different
light
themes.
effect. It's just,
It's
Gorgeous.
it
I
makes
really
it
like
all
too
feel so
because it
rich
allows
and
us to,
vibrant.
you know, have a lot of
I
variety.
want to see
in the
like a
content
bunch
that
of
we're building
griffins
for
in
these
sky
maps in the
scale
sense
just
of,
like
you know,
flying in circles
there's
around this
pathways,
open
and you'll
area.
see people taking those
You've only
pathways
got
to
4
do
months.
things. But then there's also NPCs
you'll
that are
see.
a little bit more adventurous, you know, like, and this is an awesome cliff, this is one of my favorite cliffs.
It's going to be a,
And you
a
bet that there's
googles,
some
a
documents
goggles.
as well that you can use.
It's got to be a goggles.
But you know, there might be an NPC up here, for example, who's you know, they want a drink of some kind.
Diving
Because they
goggles.
heard that there might be
For
some
example.
ways to get a drink down here, because it turns out even miners, you know,
there's a
sometimes
little
like
bar.
to take a drink after their
God
shift.
damn, I thought they were
But
gonna
he's too
die.
lazy to get down here, so you have to figure out how to get him their own drink. Anyway, yeah, you know, it's just small things like that,
Good
details
reflections.
here and there that
Ooh.
really help sell the world and build
Skiff.
the environment and takes advantage of the amazing
Yeah, here we
verticality
go.
that, you know, this map can offer.
Hey, a skiff.
It has to be
Yeah,
water
it's- yeah,
because
it's
skiffs.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was one of the interesting challenges with this
Wow.
map is, you know, this is a map that technically
Oh, the
is
little
water,
leaves in the
that is
water that have blown
solidified.
down in
So
there.
again, sea
Wow.
level means something in this map, you know. But at the same time, we want this map to support multiple of our.
Yeah, I'm
niches,
telling you, the
expansion,
water
you know,
looks
skiffs,
different.
fishing,
It looks much
what have
different.
you. So how do we
It looks nice.
approach that?
It looks
Both
very
as our
good.
art
Like, from that pool, I was like,
design.
damn.
That was a ton
Maybe
of
because
pull.
they knew that like
Um,
skiffs
but,
and
you
all
know,
this,
how do you
new
do that?
focus
Maybe.
fishing would
It
draw
was-
attention to the water. They were like, we should update some of the.
Maybe, yeah.
Right, and we'll go into a little bit more shortly.
Yeah,
I
I
like
mean,
how
but
they-
look at the reflection. Like, I feel like the reflections are more.
And take us through.
I don't know.
everything, you know,
Well,
Maybe
I
not.
always have reflections off, so I can't tell you.
Oh.
Yeah, like around here, having the water.
I do like how they always default to the skiff when getting, and they're not like reminding us that skimmers exist.
And if you're gonna use the skimmer, use the latest skin though. That's okay.
Right around here,
Very good.
that has to do with the Naga, and I had a lot of fun with this one because I was working with narrative. to
Lots of
figure out,
Naga.
like, what the Naga look like at this point, like where have they
At
been, what
this
have they been
point.
doing, like because in Guild Wars 1, the Naga were like on the brink of extinction.
Got baseball caps.
That
and
looks like
stuff.
there was some sort of really big jade thing back there.
And so
It was so
they
fuzzy, it was
also,
hard for
like,
me to
in Guild Wars
tell.
1, they also harbored a lot of
again,
resentment
turn
towards
again.
humans
But there's
because, like,
definitely
they
like
viewed them as the cause of
buildings
it.
and things on these outcroppings.
Yeah. Well, it's like the those concept arts that we just saw, right?
What have they been up to?
That I said was kining, but obviously it's not kining. It's
They're,
buildings
you know,
built
like,
onto the
their numbers
mountains.
are better now, but they're
Oh,
but
there,
they're
see?
still
Oh, it's a ship.
definitely not our friends.
Oh.
but I think
Or is
that,
it like
some of that,
maybe it's a
resentment has,
windmill
a
kind of
little bit
thing,
faded
or?
to time, and it's
Generator
more
on
that
top
they're
of the-
established here, and there's all these mining
the
operations
building?
happening in the area.
The wind turbine
And,
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so it's more
yeah,
just
something
now,
like that.
Yeah, there you go.
This is our
Up there.
territory, like, why are you here?
That's what
Like,
they are.
This is our turf.
Feels like the view
so there's-
distance is just
so I
so
have an
much
event here
bigger
where
for some reason.
It might be DX11,
I
yeah.
just love how that tower
Little bit
really
to do with
like
that.
illustrates how much has been mined out.
Yeah, like that was ground level at some point.
Jesus, that is so awesome.
Yeah.
That is so ridiculous. Like, just think about that. Like, when they say like how much has been like mined out. Like, look at where the top of that thing is. They built a windmill on top of it, and then mined down. What the?
And ideally, we'll still be able to, like, play on that level in other areas of the map.
I guess so.
But like, there's a little bit more.
Because this seems like
context
it's maybe
here,
one area that was mined
some of
out,
the
but like there
friction
was
that's
that
happening in
Jade
this
Sea
region, and
plain
so you
that
have
hasn't
to,
been mined yet.
Yeah.
drive them off.
This would be a very
And,
vertical map.
Similar to the siege turtle hatchery.
Because otherwise you won't see
wanted
like
to
the
add
ships
another
and stuff
layer,
caught on top. You won't see that stuff if you don't
to,
see
like,
that
how you
level,
think
right?
about it and give players options.
So hopefully, I kind of want to
how
see
you
that,
build
like in
the
Guild
map.
Wars,
So
right?
you can choose to drive them off in a
Because that was the part that made it really feel like the sea when you saw the ships and you saw other structures that would have been on the sea, kind of.
Yeah, I'm really
hanging out.
It's a fun event too.
Yeah, I really like that event, and you know, because it allows us to learn more about.
I like the idea
other
she was
elements of
talking
the
a little
area
bit there
in terms of
about
life, right? It's not
different
just
options for resolving the event here,
Yeah, there's a lot
and like
of-
different
there's a lot of
choices you can make with
resources
that.
there, there's a lot of history, and so being able to see
Yeah, the
those
events-
interactions and see creatures.
Yeah, I
that
always
are
felt that they could do a little bit more with that, like having the options. Yeah, that's cool. that you could
Like,
do something else.
Because they do that for hearts, but they don't really do that for dynamic
So
events.
yeah, so I like
Yeah.
all of this like rubble rock and the not quite so nicely dug out jade and looks kind of ominous. Sometimes when you dig too deep, you might run into some things that you might not have expected, and so.
Well, we
so
saw that in the
here
trailer, right?
we
This is
are
where
having an
the
event with
the Jade Maw is, right?
which you might have seen in the video
Yeah.
about Jade Sea.
Yeah.
You might also
you find some
remember
things.
it from the
Jade
Solid
Maw,
Ocean
yeah.
Castle.
Do you think that's the
So I
meta
don't know,
event?
like, I don't know if it's the same Jade Maw or a
He doesn't
different
miss
guy.
it.
Maybe
Doesn't
it's
seem that big.
Who knows?
Might be a smaller event.
but yeah,
Could
so
be a boss. Boss now.
An interesting thing to think about, like as these people are excavating the jade, like what is in it, like what lies below the surface, and so yeah, so we have stuff with the jade maw here, and.
Yeah, it's really awesome, you know, being able to take that encounter that was obviously a fractal one, so it was designed for 5 players.
And yeah, I mean, I think Boots, that could support your theory about literally just like chipping fish out. If something is intact and preserved within it and can reanimate after.
Yeah, the context really changes there.
Why not?
Like, it's
Maybe there are dwarves in there.
It's so cool. Yeah, it's cool to see it in like a different,
Nice try,
like in an
Jebro.
actual,
What?
like,
They already
in an
came
actual,
back,
like,
Jeb.
setting, right?
No,
Just, like,
not properly.
in fractal.
As playable characters, though, they could be the Jade Dwarfs.
Oh yeah. If we're getting
Oh
playable
my
characters
God.
in Cantha, definitely
Yes,
it's gonna
Cruz.
be Jade Dwarves.
Cruz, don't sigh at me.
That's
I
why I
can
say
hear
you
you.
Tengu, because they were busy with Jade Dwarves.
Jade
Exactly,
Dwarves,
yeah, the
like-
Jade Dwarfs, they're here.
We'll do dwarves, just not Tengu.
Yeah.
Fuck
Tengu.
with Jeff, our map artist, on
That
how do
mining
we
apparatus.
work
Yeah.
boatable and swimmable.
Wow, that mining
fishable water.
apparatus.
You know, something that we, you know, Chloe was saying with the Jade Maw is what happens if they dig too deep? You know, what will they find? Will they think of things such as
Me and Chris
weather?
from the same
In
mind
this
today.
case, it turns out maybe they didn't, because you know. Some things that you can explore is there might be some flooded quarry bits and pieces. You know, who knows how deep that goes? What might be under
Go
there?
go
You know,
deep.
but it's a really
Swim-
cool element to
swim
the map.
below.
Just shows
Go.
against some history. Maybe this
Go,
is one of the
go,
first spots
go.
that they dug down really deep. You know, and they may or may not have learned from their mistakes. But at the same time, you know, it's like.
This is where all the underwater stuff that you've been doing for ages is going to pay off, everyone. In this small section of the map.
Do you have your swim speed infusions? You better.
Something I do want to say though is that there's been so much discussion, and I'm sure we'll talk about this more, but like the idea of the color of the jade versus, you know, looking at it now with these portions where there's
There's some
actual
sort of-
water that has more of that blue kind of tone, and then these like green hues of the actual jade, the layers and the way they play off of each other with the different reflections is actually absolutely gorgeous. And I love that they have those different tones kind of playing off of each other.
Was there some sort of discussion about the? Huh? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
We'll talk about that later.
I don't know.
We're gonna need to make a jade bathtub just for Kirk
And well, we have the oven from Echovault.
for your lunch.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
absolutely.
Okay,
All
so I
covered.
love this. I love this little grotto.
This is good. This is good.
It's beautiful in here.
This
yeah,
is like, you know when you go on those little rides at like Disney or something, and you
it's
go
a
through them,
small
and the
world
little
after
boats,
all.
yeah, the little boats after each other, and you just see like, you know, I don't know, Captain Jack or something. I really want there to be like, you know, all the mist stuff there.
Those are questions that
All
you
the
might
people
find
are
answers to, or some,
I
you know,
want
some
that with like, because there's the
information.
mountain taxi. What if there's a skiff taxi and you go on like the Disney ride?
I really like this one in particular.
That would actually be
This is
pretty
another
cool.
Jeff
I'm not
special
gonna
I
lie.
would
in the sense
AFK
that,
on
you
there
know,
so
like,
often.
We really
That's
want to
so
have
true.
a lot of boating and
I love the
fishing support in this
reflections on
map,
the
especially
walls.
given it's called
So
sea, which
atmospheric.
implies water. But we
I love
have
this scene in God of War.
Quarry area and around where the
Yeah,
novel is.
I remember.
How do we add one? And Jeff's like, I have an idea.
This
I'll get
is
back to you.
very good.
And in typical Jeff fashion,
Look
he
at
comes in
the
and he's like, "All right, what do you
light.
think?"
Look at the
And he looks
reflection
around,
going
oh
up the
my
wall.
gosh,
That
it
This is amazing.
that is
amazing.
not.
Yeah,
It can't
like,
be that easy to
This
do
thing
to recreate.
is, I'm not gonna
Surely.
go in any
You
deeper
barely
because
ever
it's
see that
an awesome
in
thing to
MMOs.
explore on your
That
own.
is nice.
But, you know, it's beautiful in here. It's
Oh,
really
they're not
unique
gonna go
'cause
deeper.
The artwork that's being done.
Oh, they're gonna
here,
keep
you know,
going. I think.
No, they said we're not
I
going to
love
go
all
much
of
deeper because it's
the
awesome to
light
explore by yourself.
refractions on the-
Fair enough. I don't want to as
Or I
well.
guess it's the water.
I've actually stopped looking at it. Just looking at you lot now. You look so beautiful today.
Oh, thank
you. That's the first time you ever said that about me.
Oh, I wasn't talking to you.
Damn.
Yeah.
Color going on. It's just like, oh, it's so, it's
I was
very atmospheric.
actually
I
just
love it
talking
so
to you,
much.
but it's
The
to be fair.
lighting tricks
Yes.
that
You
that
always
Jeff
look
did
good.
to,
I never
you know,
have to
it
talk-
looks
tell
like
you
the
how you-
sun
how
is
good you look.
literally you know,
We have an
Thanks,
appearance
Jebro.
quota
Because I
now.
DM you.
You have to look camera.
Yeah,
What is this?
I've had
You
to
are-
hide those from my wife, by the way, Jebro. We
Yes.
gotta talk about that.
Awesome. I love it so much.
This is a podcast. So
I
many
love
people will now know.
how there's just like a lot of, like on first glance, it doesn't. There's just it seems like, oh, it's just like up here on the surface, but there's like
Very
there's
good.
a lot of little like
Yep.
hidden off to the side
Yeah,
things.
It's very
to
good.
discover
Absolutely
and-
stunning.
And
Yeah.
like that sort of little grotto. It's there's just
This
there's a
is the
lot to
kind of map
explore
I've been
in this
waiting
map.
for, I think,
Really excited
for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great balance.
think this
too,
mining
between,
apparatus
like we were
moves?
saying,
Probably.
I would hope so. It'd be really neat to see it in action.
And there's content in this map for you to do.
Yeah, I think it's important that you have that
wanted
kind
to
of
make sure that
stuff
we're getting
happening, right? Like if it's
as
an
much as we
active
can
mine or an
providing
active quarry, that it
some
should be
IP for
going
more
on, or if it, or at least like if it might not be working because there's enemies there and we just don't know because.
Given how unique all of these biomes
Yeah,
are.
look at the
are able
saw,
to
like a
support them.
chainsaw
Speaking of
thing.
support,
I want that to be a boss.
That looks like a world boss.
Yeah, I want that to be a boss.
Yeah,
That's exactly.
So, without going into
That
too many
should be a
spoilers
boss,
here,
like the marionette, right? That could be like a marionette thing. It's not because it's a structure.
and quarrying out this
But
jade, it is very essential to their entire, ecosystem, their economy, their technology, and in doing so, they will do what they need to do in order to, to get that jade. And in doing so, they will build these massive, mining operation machines, if you will, crawlers,
Industry
I think
in
is what we're
progress.
calling them.
Exactly, yeah.
To help them do that, this is an awesome set piece for the map. It's super unique. It
This
may
is
or
what
may
I was
not
looking
have
for.
a little bit of a lux and flair to some of the design,
The pulsing
does.
light in there.
I think you're probably sensing a pattern here when I'm
I
saying.
am.
maybe
Anytime Kirk says something might be the case, it's 100% the case.
100% the case. But yeah, you can climb it and get some to a cool place from it. Again, spoilers, not going to say more. But it's just, I really like, when that first came in, everyone was like, what the
it's a
heck
jumping
is
puzzle?
that thing? But it just does such a great job, again, of showing the scale of the map and the verticality of the map, and that rock that Chloe was talking about before, there it is again, off in the distance. It really shows
There's that mountain.
how deep they've been digging.
The skyboxes
'cause
are
this was
looking
all
so good.
underwater
Yeah.
way back when, or under Jade. Underwater than under Jade. But they've turned this into one big giant quarry in order to do what they need to do. We're going to continue a little bit further into this quarry, actually. Like we said before, this quarry is the same quarry from Guild Wars 1, that PvPvE mission. Obviously, there's not Luxons and Kurziks fighting over it at this point. It is very unified in their goal. Even if it does have some interesting folks, we saw the speakers off in one side of the map, and we might run into some other gang members here. Given how important Jade is, everyone wants to be aware of it and
That looks like Jade
take part in what's
technology
going
to me.
on. But at the same time, you're also able to see, some of the jade that they might have fished
A
up.
warehouse.
That is like, this shark had a really bad day.
This shark, this was not a good afternoon.
Sorry,
and
I got
the
really
fish in there too. Like we're all, oh gosh, this was hard for the shark. But
I
like an
love
aquarium.
seeing the
Also, I guess we
creatures
kind
in
of
it,
saved the fish here.
That's cool.
That's true.
Somehow
From
because
becoming
the
lunch.
shark was gonna eat them.
And where's the dwarf?
I'm looking for an upside.
Here, dwarf. In the Jade.
Yeah,
But
when
the
this all turns
creatures in
Jade.
there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. it's
Imagine if
awesome.
these guys get released and then they see all
It
this
just
technology.
really brings a lot of life.
They're like, wow.
What, the
In the
fish?
The
future.
history there. Like, it
Oh
was-
my gosh, that
water,
is
sea,
so
one
beautiful.
time, having
And they
that
talk, and they're talking fish now.
They're talking fish, yeah. Talking fish who
awesome.
realize they're in the future now.
Yeah, because they're just like, oh, we can talk now, it's
It's
safe.
also an illustration. It's a good illustration of how suddenly.
Well,
this
250 years ago, fish talked. I don't know if you knew that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean,
so, again,
I didn't.
this is
It's a good thing we
very
know about
similar
these
to Guild Wars
things.
area. Most of Jade's
I didn't know the
vocal
things about the
regenerated.
Asura either, apparently, and their ear size. But, apparently that's the thing.
But it does touch two spots that are
Oh yeah, we see a lot of fish and stuff, but weren't there like
The other one
people
is a
swimming
harvesty
when it happened?
thing.
I mean, probably.
that might be a bit south.
I mean, there was probably one person.
Some sort of temple.
That's
maybe.
true.
At least.
Potentially,
Maybe.
it might be.
I'd love to like.
Remember? Hey, do you guys remember that
You
thing
said it was
I
a temple at the
minute
beginning
ago
of the
that when
stream.
Kirk says it might be. He just confirmed a thing.
Well,
Pearl divers, yeah.
there's a lot of important elements.
so much better than
love
last
the
week.
the tubing. It makes me
And
really
it's
excited
I
for
love
Kaineng.
the open views of this map so much. The work that has been done to make it
Or the
you know,
pipelines, or
work as an open map that looks like it's been quarried. You can get these grand vistas that are just beautiful to just kind of
I think you
soak
confirmed a
in.
temple.
That's honestly been a problem for me, like this whole show, because I'm supposed to be paying attention, and I
We
keep
saw it in the
going, I'm just-
concept art.
That's why I like where we have the screen. I can see, it's like, oh yeah, that's beautiful.
it really
it's
seems like
difficult
they
for me
also
that
went
there's, like,
through
a
for this
massive
stream
screen
and
behind
really
the
marked
cameras
some of the
showing what
vistas they
Kirk
wanted
is
to
doing,
approach and
and,
show.
I just-
And I'm
I
like,
think
yes, 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 yes,
Yeah.
That's
They planned this
exactly
one.
what I wanted to see with Echovault.
I think they planned the last one as well, but I just think it was more constricted. I think this is something I'm going to mention later.
I mean,
compare and
You
I think also,
constricted quite a
I'm
lot.
sure they took some of the feedback and, thoughts on it. And
We've also seen a lot so far, but I still feel like this is only maybe... We've only seen like a quarter of the map, probably, is my guess.
I think there's probably a little bit of hope in there that is the only quarter of the map. It's always like that as well, right? It's always like, yeah, I'm hoping it's not. Of course, there's much more to see for sure on this. I like the way how like the Jade isn't just there as something you mine. Look at everything it's influenced. And that's what happens in so many areas in the world. Like as the world evolved into this industrial place, you see how the minerals and how the resources shape different societies and stuff, and it's just like
This feels very Earth. This feels very Avatar: The Last Airbender Earth Kingdom. This is very Earth Kingdom right now.
I just love the different like foliage, right?
Touching say.
the little
Just
pops
second.
of color, the contrasts with the green and pink and red, and
Absolutely.
I want this to be like the new Lion's Arch. Like, I want this to be a capital city.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah.
It's just, it blows us away every time. We come out of it being like, we wish it was February so we could play it with folks.
Yeah.
Right?
But also
on.
it's like, it's already November. And,
We need to do
It is,
stuff.
Oh my
it
God,
is so
yeah.
close. It feels like, I was saying this to you yesterday, it feels like it's 5 minutes away and forever away. Like,
It really does.
We have work to
pumpkins
do,
in
but
this
we are
tree,
eager for February to get here.
Those are a nice
getting
touch
close.
too, and
I
like you
can't
see
wait.
a little bit of the
There's
reflection.
I'm
so
so
many cool
excited.
things.
There's a lot of stuff that I'm excited for, but I'm
Just the
in
environment feels so
particular
good.
excited for like
Oh, those
people to
pipes.
experience this meta for the first time.
I know we called it out. I know we called it out earlier, but I do want to touch on just one more time the little details, like and now you flew away. The little details, like even the walls, the carvings and the mosaics, and just even like
Oh, it's
the
like the
vines
cape that you can
climbing
get
up
if
the
you
side of the
pre-order End of
walls.
Dragons right now.
Every little detail in this map is so beautiful. It is really pretty.
It really is. Every time. There's always so many new things. Like we load in here and we're like, that's new. That's amazing. There's always even as developers, when we go into these regions, it's always, there's things that we'll find and discover and we're like, okay, I want to put something there,
Yeah, like look at the pattern just on the side of that wall. It's so good.
Everything looks like it's built in, like it looks like it has some history to it, but also it looks like it, they took that history and expanded on it, kind of a blend of the old and the new.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, well, thank you both. That was our tour of the Jade Sea today. I hope you all liked everything that you saw. Like we've said, we're so excited for you to get in here in February and just get this look at it for yourself when everything's not hidden.
I liked it very much. Thanks, Ruby.
Everyone's sitting here going, there
Thank you,
sure is
Ruby.
a thing here, and it's great, and we can't tell you
Could be
about it.
many
Chloe
things.
and Connor.
Yeah. So, but we are getting closer and closer. We are in the second half of November. End of Dragons launches in February of 2022. It is coming at us like a freight train, you guys. End of
Like 3
Dragons is
months
available
away.
for pre-purchase now.
4.
You can go ahead and get on that. Get some goodies for your account that you can use right away, like the sweet raptor skin that Kirk was running around on. Speaking of pre-purchase, we also are working with DX Racer. You can pre-purchase your own End of Dragons DX Racer gaming chair. This thing is amazing. I love the embroidered End of Dragons logo on there. Pre-purchase for this
That
lasts
does look
until
pretty
the end
cool.
of November, until the end of this month.
That looks
You
so
can get on
nice.
that. The chairs will come to you in early 2022.
How much is
So,
it?
Again, so close.
A lot of money.
Why is it almost Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
I don't
I don't know
know.
what time it is.
How much is
It was like 300 or 400 something.
Yeah, 300, 400.
We
Oh,
also
boy.
have some Black Friday sales coming
That's
next
a lot.
week, both
For
out of
JM.
game and in the gem store. So keep an eye on our channels. We're gonna have a sale on Path of Fire and then
Ooh.
a handful of other things. So keep an eye out. We will be telling you about those all next week. Also next week is our Siege Turtle live stream. We get to show off the Siege Turtle mount.
Siege turtle height.
Yes,
good.
I am
Can't wait.
super excited. Really important thing about that. Next week is the Thanksgiving holiday here in America. So the studio is closed
yeah.
on Thursday and Friday. The Siege Turtle live stream is
Oh.
same channel, same time of day, but it is Wednesday, not Friday. So don't come Friday. We will all be here.
Turkey comas.
We will all be in Turkey comas. That's right.
Will not be available.
Kirk will have had lunch. I'm so
I
excited.
will not be here either.
I'm glad this has become a thing that I don't even need to talk about it.
Right?
Proof and I've got it covered. We'll do it. We'll do the podcast.
Yes, join us next Wednesday.
Let's talk about it.
I'd be so down.
Time for the Siege Turtle
Jebro,
live
just
stream.
give us your
We'll see
stream
you then.
key.
Thank you all for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.
Proof and I will both get bald caps and talk with
Don't wear
terrible
bald
British
caps for this
accents.
anyway.
I mean, like half a bald cap, kind of.
That's
Okay.
a lot, one setter. That's a lot of money. Is it worth it? Probably. I just can't pay it.
First of all, we're going to end this segment. So thank you very much. If you watched this video, you watched this part of the stream, which is live right now on twitch.tv/JebroUni. We are going to now go on to the 30th episode of the Lightbringers. We're going to talk about what we saw, what we thought, what we felt, maybe even a little bit about the Siege Turtle, because I want to talk about it, because I'm probably not going to get to talk about it next week. But we're going to do that, and we will be right back. We'll see you momentarily in a second.
Right now.
Be gone.
Bye, everybody. It's been fun. We're gone for good now.
Thank you
Next
for
time,
ruining the
yes.
outro.